Going on, everyone. So the Lakers drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino as a potential replacement for Austin Reaves per at Lakers Nation. Lakers Nation posted an article about it saying that Lakers drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino as a potential replacement for Austin Reaves should he receive a big offer in restricted free agency, league sources told Lakers Nation. So again, made a video about this on the issues that the Lakers may have with Austin Reaves. Now, you're seeing the impact of the new CBA. You're seeing teams literally give away guys like John Collins and Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, Chris Paul, Jordan Poole. Like, all these guys are literally just being given away for bags of chips because of the new CBA, because you can no longer afford to overpay guys. The problem is Austin Reaves, if he is offered a max contract, will be overpaid. And there are teams that will probably do that. Houston Rockets are one of them. The San Antonio Spurs are supposed to be one of them. And the issue isn't right now. The issue isn't because Austin Reaves, because of restrictions, he can only make about $12 million a year this year and next. And then he'd have the big balloon payments on the back half of his contract. It's a poison pill contract, right? So there's certain exceptions and stuff that basically prevent Austin Reaves from making $25 million a year. But what can happen is he can be offered $100 million 4 years, and then the last 2 years are like $27 and $30 million each. He's not that level of player right now. He's a very good player. He's about $15 million a year right now, but there's a lot of question marks with Austin Reaves. He really exploded and took off in the back half of the season. And he was great, and then continued that display in the playoffs. Absolutely brilliant. Here's the thing, though. Now teams are going to game plan and prep for Austin Reaves. And things are very different when that happens. Paul George even had on his podcast recently talked about that, and how like when teams start putting you on the scouting report, it becomes a different game because he's not going to have the freedom. Teams were focused on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And then when D'Lo came, they were focused on D'Angelo Russell, right? You saw Memphis do that. You saw the Warriors do that. And you saw Denver do it the best. Basically completely made him unplayable and lived with Austin Reaves, killing them. If Austin Reaves continues to play the way that he's been playing, teams are going to start putting him on the report and are going to go after him. Also, the NBA is really trying to get rid of the tic-tac fouls and the little, like, gimme fouls and, the flopping and all that stuff. Austin Reaves lives at the free throw line. He plays a lot like James Harden-esque, right? Being crafty, creating contact, and getting to the foul line. If that dries up, is he going to be able to adjust his game to still be a 20-point-per-game scorer? And can he do that game in and game out? Because that's what you're going to need for a $20 million guy. The NBA, those middle contracts are going to become obsolete. The middle class of the NBA is going to be gone. You're going to have guys that are 30+ million, or you're going to have guys that are like 5 to 10 million. You might have some outlier exceptions here and there, a guy that's like borderline that, or a team really believes in him and thinks that he can become that $30 million guy. So maybe they give him 18 million or something like that. Or if it's a piece that they really believe is the difference in winning a chip. There will be outliers. There will be situational differences here and there. But the majority is going to change. And the problem is that if the Lakers go and they give Austin Reaves 4 years, $100 million, it ruins all of their future flexibility after LeBron leaves. Because it does, like, LeBron, when he leaves, whether it's after this year or next, we don't just get $50 million in cap space to replace him. It's not how it works. If you're paying Austin Reaves, by the time LeBron leaves, if you're paying Austin Reaves $27 to $30 million a year, and then you're paying Rui Hachimura $20 million a year or $18 million a year, and then you got to re-sign Anthony Davis to a max, and then you got to pay the new young guys, and then Max Christie's got to get a contract, and then do you keep Jared Vanderbilt? And all of a sudden you go from a team that might have a max to go get a star to replace LeBron James to not. And now you have basically D'Lo, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis, and Jared Vanderbilt. Is that enough to win you a championship? It might be, depending on, how good Austin Reaves develops or how good Rui Hachimura develops, or can, D'Angelo Russell develop better. I'm not saying that the Lakers are just going to willy-nilly let Austin Reaves go. But the new CBA changed a lot of just decision-making and a lot of just things for the future in general. And this is something that I've mentioned, I've talked about it, I made a video about it, and boom, now we get this report from Lakers Nation. It's because of the situation that we're in. It's because of the new CBA. The reason I've talked about this and I've tried to get it across to people like, hey, don't be shocked if Austin Reaves gets a big contract and the Lakers let him go, or they work out some sort of sign and trade and maybe try to trade him. I know a lot of Laker fans don't want that, but he's not a $25 million a year player. And if he's the difference from you getting a star that can replace LeBron James and being a championship contender, then it turns out it was a horrible contract, right? Like, all of these factors are going to be in play. All of these things are going to continue to develop to be issues. You're not going to be able to overpay guys. Again, if this new CBA didn't exist, I don't have a doubt in my mind that the Lakers would keep Austin Reaves. I think Austin Reaves is most likely to stay. If I'm being honest, I really do. I don't think that the Lakers are just going to let go of Austin Reaves. I think if anything, they will sign him, they will match whatever contract it is, and then trade him before that balloon payment goes. I think that they will hope that he has a really good season this year and then look to move him at some point and let that poison pill contract be another team's problem. I could see that happening. I don't think they'll let him go. Rui Hachimura, I wouldn't be shocked. I think that's high. And then D'Lo, depending on how much he wants, I could see that being a problem too. But Austin Reaves, somebody offers him 4 years, $100 million. It might be a real question mark. That might be something that people go, that the Lakers kind of go, okay, well, that might be a little too rich for our blood. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't pay him $100 million because that ruins your cap flexibility, right? And again, you're going to have to keep Rui. You're going to, hopefully you're hoping that Shafino really does become that. Can Shafino really do evolve into an Austin Reaves? He's slightly bigger, right? So he's a little bigger. That would be nice. And you also have several guys already that can fill the role of Austin Reaves, right? D'Lo can play the two if you need him to. Max Christie, what does he look like? He shot 42% from three. It was a small sample size, but he did. And he's a better defender than Austin Reaves, right? Like, he is. He's a better defender. And he's bigger now. Supposedly, he's 6'6", 6'7". So he's bigger, and he's just as good of a shooter, and he's a better defender. So he could play the two spot. Lewis could play the two spot, right? The Lakers got Maxwell Lewis. He's 6'7", serviceable defender, right? And is a really good shooter. I mean, if he starts coming into his own, he could probably take Austin Reaves' place. Jalen Hood-Schifino, who they drafted, supposedly, according to Lakers Nation, to take the place of D'Angelo Russell. That could be the case, right? And that's not counting if the Lakers make it. Let's say they do trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Well, now you got Buddy Hield that you could have in the starting spot as your shooter. And Austin Reaves isn't irreplaceable. I love Reaves a lot. I want him to stay a Laker. I would love for him to retire a Laker. But the Lakers, with the new CBA, cannot afford to overpay guys and contend for NBA championships. I want a championship more than I want Austin Reaves on the Lakers roster. So it comes down to what the price is. Austin Reaves very likely isn't going to take a hometown discount because this is his first real contract. He was an undrafted player. And who knows what happens? What if he's not able to replicate what he does? Then he just went from 4 years, $100 million to 4 years, $20 million. If he just becomes a normal guy. So there's a lot of factors in play when it comes to this, which could, again, really kind of boil down to a major issue for the Lakers. And the hope is the Lakers can just get a deal done and get done. I want to stress, I don't believe the Lakers are just going to let him go. I don't think the Lakers just let him walk. I think that they will either try to work out a sign and trade, or they will try to do something where they match him and then look to move him in the next year or two before that contract becomes poison. Unless he just evolves into Gordon Hayward prime type player where he's 25, 5-5, right? Or 23, 5-5. Then at that point, 20 million a year or whatever is probably worth it. But it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers will really let go of Austin Reaves? Do you think that, no, they'll keep him? Do you have those concerns as well? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below.